We're going to go through a couple review problems that will be helpful for you on your quiz. Okay? Don't forget Alex topics. They're due tomorrow. If you come to school without them done tomorrow, what happens? You stay in for recess until they're done. Okay? Don't leave them that last minute. Just get them done right away. Okay? Because I know you had work time in other classes on Friday. You'll have some at the end of class today. You have some every day in social studies. Okay, there's really no excuse to not have them done before the last minute. Okay, now let's go through a couple review. First, review vocabulary word. What is that called? What is that called? What? Good job. An algebraic expression. Okay, and how do I solve this algebraic expression? Who can help me with that? Hands off the computers, please, and just watch up here. I don't care where you're at. You'll have time to get to where you need to be in a second. How can I solve this algebraic expression? Yeah, go. Okay, so we need to plug in the numbers for the according variables, right? Okay, hands off the computers. I don't want to have to ask again. I don't want to have to ask again. It's not hard. Just watch up here. This is to help you. Okay? You have to plug in the numbers. What symbol is right between that letter or that variable and the number, everybody? Multiplication. So you need to write it from left to right. So 2 times, and what does A equal? 1/2 plus 4 times, what does C equal? 3. So, and what is this called then? What is that kind of expression called? Yes. A numerical expression. And what do we use to solve numerical expressions? The order of operations. Good job. Okay, so do we have parentheses? Hands off computers. It's not hard. Nope. Do we have exponents? Do we have multiplication or division? Yes, and we have 2 sets of multiplication, so we must go from left to right. So 2 times 1/2. You must go off to the side and put your whole number over 1 in order to multiply that fraction. So 2 times 2 is, 2 times 1 is, 2. 1 times 2 is, and what does 2 over 2 equal? 1. Yeah, that's 1 whole. So now I'm going to write it underneath, cross off what I solved, and bring everything else down. What should I do next? Multiply. 4 times 3 is 12. Cross off, bring the rest down. 1 plus 12 is, so we found the value. We simplified it to 13. Good. Next one says, write an algebraic expression that represents this situation. Don't forget to define the variable. Josie ate 3 less strawberries. 3 less strawberries. I don't really like how that's worded, but we'll go with it. Josie ate 3 less strawberries than her mom. What's our math word? Less. And less tells us to, hands off computers, please. I'm waiting again. It means to what? Subtract. Okay, and now we need to define our variable, figure out what that's representing. So what is X going to represent in this situation? What's our unknown? Yeah, the strawberries that mom ate. Good. That's what the variable is representing. Okay, now take a look at this. Be ready to tell me, what would this algebraic expression that we need to write, what would that look like? Raise your hand when you're ready to tell me. What would this algebraic expression look like? Everyone should be ready. I'll give you a second to think. Keep your hand up. Make sure your attention's up here, please. Go ahead. What do you think? Yes, you. Ooh, I'm glad you said that, because this is a really, really important learning lesson. Remember, anytime it says less than or fewer than, what has to tell me about it? Great explanation. Yes, when it's less than, because remember, it's 3 less than what mom ate. So we're taking 3 away from that. So most of the time, well, anytime I should say, when it says less than or fewer than, the number has to be the second part of your expression. Does that make sense? Okay, this is the one that we kept working on because I know it can be a little confusing. Okay, so I'm not going to do this one with you, but this is on your quiz, and the directions say, in the first box, define the variable, so you're going to type what your variable represents. In the second box, write your algebra expression by dragging any text or symbols you need from the bottom right. So what's going to happen is in this second text box, you're not typing anything. I gave you anything you might need. Does that mean you need all of these? No, I gave you what you might need, or like multiple options. You don't need all of these. You're going to drag it and drop it in the correct order to write your algebraic expression. Does that make sense? Okay. Take your time. Take your time, read carefully. This one, it says, select whether each expression simplifies to a value of 3. What does that mean? Exactly. If it equals 3, if when you solve it, it equals 3, you must select yes. If it doesn't equal 3, you must select no. So you must show your work solving all 4 using the order of operations on your notebook paper. When you are done with your notebook or with the quiz, you'll turn in your notebook paper and the slides. Okay, so make sure you're neat and organized. While we're talking about specifically the quiz, make sure you read the directions very, very carefully. I've started grading the class before, and the biggest thing is just reading carefully and making sure that what you're putting on there is what you mean. Just take your time. One last problem review. You also have one very, very similar to this on your quiz. So watch close. If you're confused, ask questions. Okay? Last one, and then it'll be your time, so make sure you're giving me your attention. Convert 5 gallons to pints. Remember when we did converting measurement? Okay, I know you guys have been working on this on Alex too. Remember, you always put what you're given over what? Over 1. So 5 gallons. Remember, you put what you're given. So we're given 5 gallons over 1. Okay? And who remembers the next thing I do here? Hands off the computers. I'm kind of tired of asking. You're being rude. What's the next thing I do? Yes, you bring your label diagonal. Then you ask yourself, can we go straight from gallons to pints? No. What's 1 unit smaller than gallons? Quarts. So we need to go from gallons to quarts first. And gallons is a larger unit. How many quarts in 1 gallon? 4. Cross off the labels that cancel. What do I do next? Notice multiplication symbols are in between each. What do I do next? Yeah. Yes, we bring the label diagonal. And can we go straight from quarts to pints? Yes. Okay, which is bigger, pints or quarts? Quarts. How many pints in 1 quart? 2. Cross off the label. Is pints where we're trying to convert to? Yeah, so now you multiply straight across. So 5 times 4 is, times 2 is 40. And then you always have to check the bottom as well, but 1 times 1 times 1 equals 1. So what is our answer? 40 pints. Good. Do you have any questions about that? You have one on your quiz, just like this. Okay, any questions? All right. A couple things before you get started. I can't say this enough. Read all directions carefully. Make sure all slides are complete. Don't leave any parts blank. And then read the last slide before you go back and click turn in. Turn your classwork in. Your to-do list is on the board in order. Okay, that is what you will be working on when you're done.